Hello everyone, I'm Anji Chakravarti on behalf of Let's Tute English Master जी. कैसे हैं आप सब? I hope you all are doing well. Today I'm here to help you to understand सबसे अहम चीज जो हमें पहला कदम है हमें जॉब मिलने के लिए. जॉब, काम, daily work, bread and butter earn करने के लिए. The first thing that helps us to get a job is our resume. Resume मतलब क्या होता है वो? वही एक पेपर, एक डॉक्यूमेंट, बट वो डॉक्यूमेंट या पेपर सबसे बड़ा इम्पोर्टेंट है जो हमें काम या जॉब दिलाने में अहम हिस्सा प्ले करता है. So let's start with this, okay? And I want it to be like आपको जो मर्जी, जो questions है, जो भी doubts है, please be free to ask related to whatever I go ahead with my, my session of my live session on tips of resume, creating a resume, okay? Let's start with it. Okay, so what is a resume? Resume वो क्या है? वो एक पेपर है, एक डॉक्यूमेंट है. Yes, but what is it? अगर मैं सिंपल लैंग्वेज में बोलूं, resume is a document और a paper जो आपको इंट्रोड्यूस करवाता है एम्प्लॉयर से आपसे मिलने से पहले. यानी कि जब आप रूम के बाहर हो, आपका रिज्यूमे पहले अंदर जाता है आपके पहले. तो जब वो एम्प्लॉयर आपके रिज्यूमे को पढ़ता है, द डॉक्यूमेंट, वो जो पेपर पढ़ता है, उसी से उसको पता चल जाता है कि हाउ इम्प्रेसिव यू आर, हाउ गुड यू कैन बी फॉर अ पर्टिकुलर जॉब और अ पर्टिकुलर वर्क जिसके लिए आप यहाँ पे आए हो इंटरव्यू देने. सो अ रेज्यूमे इज अ फॉर्मल डॉक्यूमेंट विच इंक्लूड्स योर वर्क प्रोफाइल. वर्क प्रोफाइल मतलब आपके एक्सपीरियंसेस, जो आपके एक्सपीरियंस, एंड इफ यू आर अ फ्रेशर, नॉट एन इश्यू एट ऑल. So that will be added on later on. But the first thing is which includes all your work profile, all your qualifications, etc., which will help the employer को समझने में कि आपके अंदर क्या-क्या qualifications है, क्या-क्या skills है या क्या-क्या abilities है जो वो आप में से निकालेगा या आपके अंदर है जो उसको आपको help करेगा job पाने के लिए. Right? So the first thing which you have to remember is जब भी आप resume बनाओ, जब भी आप रेज्यूमे बनाओ, द फर्स्ट पॉइंट यू हैव टू रिमेंबर इज जब आप स्टार्ट करते हो अपने नाम से स्टार्ट करना है. नाम से स्टार्ट करना है इन द सेंस व्हेन यू राइट नेम, first thing you have to write your full name, right? Like for my case it is Ainji Chakravarti. If you have a middle name, you can write your husband's name, your father's name, and your name along with your surname. For example, if I have to add, I will ask Ainji Shumendranath Chakravarti, right? So you can use it this way. Second comes your contact address. Now contact address और एक होता है permanent address. कॉन्टैक्ट एड्रेस वो होता है जहां पे फॉर एग्जांपल मोस्ट ऑफ यू या मेनी ऑफ यू मस्ट हैव अपने होम टाउन से यहाँ पे आए हो काम करने के लिए, या आप वीकडेज में कहीं रहते हो, वीकेंड्स में कहीं रहते हो, बहुत ऐसे सीन्स होते हैं. तो जब मैं कॉन्टैक्ट एड्रेस की बात कर रही हूँ, कॉन्टैक्ट एड्रेस वो होता है जहां पे एम्प्लॉयर आपको कॉन्टैक्ट कर पाएगा. So that is the time जहां पे आप weekdays में या majority of the time जहां पे आप रहते हो, that is your contact address, right? Next comes your telephone number. Telephone number अभी किसी का रेसिडेंशियल नंबर भी होता है, तो दैट यू कैन प्रोवाइड. अगर आपका रेसिडेंशियल नंबर है देन यू कैन प्रोवाइड योर रेसिडेंशियल नंबर. देन कम्स योर मोबाइल नंबर जहां पे आप अपना मोबाइल नंबर लिखोगे. देन कम्स योर ईमेल आईडी. ईमेल आईडी ऐसा होना चाहिए जिसमें आप अपना पूरा जो एक्टिव ईमेल है, जिसमें आपके ज्यादातर ईमेल्स आते हैं, वही ईमेल एड्रेस आपको देना पड़ता है. Next comes your permanent address. Now, permanent address in the sense, for example, if you are from मध्य प्रदेश फॉर एग्जाम्पल एंड आप बॉम्बे में आए हो काम करने, तो कॉन्टैक्ट एड्रेस आपका वो रहेगा जहां पे आप बॉम्बे का एड्रेस दोगे, और परमानेंट एड्रेस वो रहेगा जहां पे आप मध्य प्रदेश का जो आपका परमानेंट एड्रेस है, जहां के आप ओरिजिनली हो, वो आपका परमानेंट एड्रेस रहेगा. सो दिस इज यू हैव टू क्लियरली अंडरस्टैंड. और अगर आपका एक ही एड्रेस है, so that's more than enough, that's a permanent address. So it इसलिए यूज होता है ताकि आपका आपके एम्प्लॉयर जो है, आपको जहाँ पे जॉब मिलने वाला है, वो आपको कांटेक्ट कर पाए अगर बाय चांस आपको ईमेल के थ्रू या थ्रू योर मोबाइल आपको कांटेक्ट नहीं कर पा रहे. सो दैट विल हेल्प यू टू अंडरस्टैंड. Okay, next comes your date of birth. Date of birth should be with the number, first the date, then comes your month, and then comes the year of birth, right? So this should be synchronized in the date, the month, and the year of your birth. Then that is date of birth. Next comes योर लैंग्वेज प्रोफिशिएंसी, लैंग्वेज इन द सेंस आपको कौन से भाषाएं बोलना आता है, हिंदी, इंग्लिश, मराठी, बंगाली, गुजराती, whatever, whichever language you understand and you're good and you're fluent with, please write down that. That is called as language proficiency. Next comes, ये तो आपके पर्सनल डिटेल्स आपने दिए, right? Now next comes is your experiences. First experiences भी लिख सकते हैं या कोई कोई पहले अपना qualification भी लिख सकते हैं. So let me start with your academic qualification. Academic qualification इस तरह से होना चाहिए जो आपका last education है. For example, आपने MBA किया होगा. That is your last degree that you've achieved. So the first thing that will come is your MBA degree. The first one, it will be in the descending order. Descending order मतलब current से लेके the first education. यानी कि अगर आपने MBA किया है, that is your last degree of education, तो आप MBA जिस साल आपने आपने graduate किया MBA, that is the time you have to write. For example, MBA in finance 2003 और 2003 एक दो साल का होगा तो 2003 to 2005 from Mumbai University. So this is how you have to write. Then comes your next one, maybe 12th standard, then comes your 10th. या फिर आपका graduation. So it should be in your descending order wherein you are going to write about your qualifications from the last one to the first one, right? Again, I repeat, the qualification should be from the last one to the first one. For example, MBA degree in the year 2003 to 2005 from some university name or from college name or finance. You have to also say MBA in finance or MBA in HR. जो भी आपका degree है, that you have to mention. Right, and that can follow slowly. उसके बाद उसके पहले आपने शायद graduation किया तो so graduation maybe from 1998 to 1990 2000 2001 in from the college name, say KJ Somaya College, this way. Then next comes your 10th from your school, the year, the period जहाँ पे आपने जिस साल में आपने 10th जिन साल से पे 2000 to 2001 was your 10th, for example, from ABCD school in the year so and so. So this way you have to write your qualifications. Again, I repeat, from the current to the first one, along with the year and the college name, right? Next comes your experiences. Experiences will also be the same, descending order from the current to the last, I mean to the first. For example, जब कोई कोई किसी किसी को ऐसा होता है कि जब हम क्वालिफिकेशंस जब हम एक्सपीरियंसेस लिखते हैं तो हम ये करते हैं कि for example, I just write that 2022 I am working in ABCD company, so I have to write 2022. Say for example, this is month of February going, right? Sorry, January going. So अगर मैंने just join किया है, then I have to write January 2022 to present. That means, or 2023 to present, you have to write the year of your current job. You just don't have to only mention in some CVs or some resumes ऐसे भी होते हैं जहाँ पे आप सिर्फ year लिखते हो या फिर आप ये भी लिखते हो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर मेरा वर्क एक्सपीरियंस इन अ करंट कंपनी इज फ्रॉम 90 फ्रॉम से अराउंड 2000 to 2003, अगर मैंने 2 साल वहां पे काम किया है, आई नॉट ओनली हैव टू मेंशन द ईयर लाइक 2001 to 2003, 2 years, I also have to know, write it in the bracket maybe कि 2 years 3 months, 2 years 4 months, that has to be specified, not required, but आप कर सकते हो. नेक्स्ट कम्स योर नेक्स्ट एक्सपीरियंस. कोई ऐसे भी आप कर सकते हो जब आप अपना पहला एक्सपीरियंस लिखते हो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आई वर्कड इन ABCD कंपनी फ्रॉम 2001 to 2003. वहां पे आप अपना डेजिग्नेशन भी लिख सकते हो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ आई से आई वर्कड इन 2001 to 2003 in ABCD company as an accountant. That way also you can write your experiences. Okay, again from the descending, from the current to the first job. This way you have to, और हर एक डेजिग्नेशन, हर एक एक्सपीरियंस में आप अपना ईयर लिखोगे, आपका डेजिग्नेशन लिखोगे, एज वेल एज आपकी कंपनी का नाम भी लिखोगे. करेक्ट. नाउ next, you have to also tell about your skills and abilities. Now, what do I tell you about the skills and abilities? Skills in the sense, अगर आप कोई भी profession में हो, for example, if you are a software engineer, or if you are a Python decoder or coder, you need to tell the person the skills or abilities based on that technical thing that you are acquainted with. ये नहीं कि I'm very professional, I'm very hardworking. These are not your skills. Skills means, again I repeat, जिस प्रोफेशन में आप हो, जिसका आपने डिग्री ली हुई है, जिसके बारे में आपको जॉब चाहिए, उस बारे में आपको प्रोफिशिएंसी में आपके एफिशिएंसी या आपके स्किल्स के ऊपर आपको बताना है. फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ आई एम अप्लाइंग फॉर अ जॉब एज एन अकाउंटेंट, सो मेरा स्किल ये नहीं होगा कि ओके आई एम वेरी प्रोफिशिएंट, आई एम वेरी हार्ड वर्किंग, आई एम वेरी पंक्चुअल. नो, माय स्किल विल बी, आई इफ आई हैव टू टेल माय स्किल, I will say I'm very proficient with numbers. Why am I proficient with numbers? Because I'm very much observant. I can handle numbers, and I am very good in tallying the balance sheet. So that is your skill. For example, now if you go for the technical thing, अगर आप technical language में जाओ, अगर आप for example अगर आप Python Python coder हो, तो आपको उस skill के ऊपर बोलना है. अगर आप Java coder हो, तो आपको उसके ऊपर बताना है. So skills and abilities are based not on your personal traits. आपकी पर्सनालिटी के ऊपर किसी को इंटरेस्ट नहीं है. इट हैज टू बी ओनली विद द टेक्निकल थिंग दैट आप उसमें इंटरेस्टेड हो या उसके बारे में आपको बताना होगा. Clear with this? So now I take a break. Before I go ahead, let me have some questions or answers from your side before I go ahead with some more ideas. Hello, Rohit. Hello. Yes. Sunny. Rohit. Ashwin. Yes, Natasha, you can mention your home address in your resume. That is what I said, contact address and the permanent address. Contact address, if you are a resident of Mumbai, you have been born and brought up, and that's your permanent address, then you can write only one, that is permanent address. But if you are, if you are born and brought up somewhere else and you have shifted to another place or another city for your work purpose, you have to mention both the address, because contact address will be the address जहाँ पे आपको contact कर सकते हैं employer in other days, but and the permanent address is the address जहाँ पे आप originally जहाँ के आप हो. So you have to mention both the address if you are so. If not, if you have only one address, yes, you have to mention. Yes, who else? Any questions, please? Sunny, Rohit. Neelam, the ideal size of a resume, you need to take a printout in an A4 size paper. That is the ideal size, A4 size, not more than that and neither less than that. Okay. And yes, Natasha, how to talk about your strengths and weakness? How long should my resume be? Resume should be in such a way, Sunny, that you have to mention the best things. Like, try not to explain too much about your, for example, if you're talking about your experiences, don't mention everything in detail. You can just give a short idea, because if you mention too much of it, then the resume will go pages after pages. So for example, if, like I told you, if you're applying for an accountant job, just write that I am I have this thing that I have to take a accountant's job because I'm good with numbers in any particular area or any particular year of your experience. When you're writing it, just mention your designation, nothing else. And when you're talking about your skills and abilities, that time you can mention all the technical things that you are aware of or you are acquainted with, or you can you're applying it on the basis of getting a job. Okay. Yes, and Natasha's question talking about strength and weakness. Okay, when you're talking about your strength and weakness, try to avoid telling about your weaknesses. For example, if someone asks me what is my weakness, I will not say that, my family is my weakness, I'm a very lazy person, or I'm a short tempered person. Yes, you can work. Yes, Sunny, you can list your work achievements. Of course, you can. Those will come under the heading of additional thing, like all your other the basic skill and abilities. Yes, later on you can add on with your more additional things that you can mention. Yes, we need to mention the date of birth, Ashwin. Okay, coming back to Natasha's question, strength and weaknesses. Okay, now when you're talking of strengths again should not be your personal traits. अपनी personality के ऊपर strength नहीं बताना है कि I'm a workaholic, I'm very dedicated, I am, I forget everything when I'm working. No, your strengths will again be depending on the work experience. For example, if I have to apply for TL's post, team leader post, okay, I will give an experience wherein I will say that, I had handled a group of 7 to 10 members in a group. So in this case, wherein I was leading a team, so I have that leadership's quality. So that is my strength. So that will make me aware of being a good team leader. So that is your strength. Never give your personal traits. And about your weaknesses, avoid the question by being very smart enough to reply, Kim, sir or ma'am, I don't have any weakness that can hamper my work. That is a simple thing. Don't reveal your weakness. I'm very lazy, I'm short tempered, etc. What should I try to avoid when writing my resume? When writing your resume, Sunny, avoid giving too much of personal information. Avoid giving too much of personal information. Try to make it as formal, as professional as you can. Like I mentioned, date wise you have to go, and do not give much. Some people have the habit of writing hobbies, etc. Avoid giving all that. Just keep it to name, contact address, permanent address, emails, date of birth, phone numbers, as well as your qualification. Basically, a resume should always be centralized around your work experiences and your qualifications. Nothing extra from your personal side. Yes. Something that is inbuilt that you have got the practice on, like you are a, for example, you are an accountant, you are a Java coder, you are a web designer, etc. So all that has to be your skills. For example, agar aap ek web designer ho, so the skills that would be required is HTML, Photoshop, Corel Draw, Java, Dreamweaver, etc. What kind of achievements can we mention? Neelam, achievements can be based on any, for example, what do I say? Yeah, for example, if you have been, praised for any of your work in your past, the past company of yours, that is your achievement. For example, if you were awarded the employee of the, of the year, so that is your achievement. Or for example, you have been appreciated by your ex company or your boss for your for your leadership skill. That is again your achievement. Something that you have been praised in your past company, that is your achievements. So that also you can mention. In the case of achievements and all, you can go for okay. See, achievements can come after your experiences and your qualifications. Okay, achievements and your skills. First comes your your qualifications. Then comes your experience. Then comes your skills and abilities. Then comes your achievements. Okay, remember that achievement should be based on whatever appraisal or whatever praise you must have had from. And for freshers, you can mention something wherein you were appreciated in your college days for anything, like in your 10th, or you meant to say in your 12th, in your graduation, or in your post graduation courses wherein you have been awarded. So that can also be your achievement. Yes. But the main and the most important thing you have to remember is the sequence. Always go follow the descending manner from the current to the first. Never go from first to the current. Okay. So always make it that way, even for your qualification as well as for your experiences. Worst resume. See, now the thing is, just hold on. Okay. Sunny, see, herein, this is a comparison which you can see between a good and a bad resume. Okay. Now, when you're talking of a good resume, always remember to mention, to give a complete sentence. Do not make it a confusing sentence that the employer may get confused. What are you trying to say? So make it very simple. Do not, for example, you have to follow the order like I mentioned, again with the name, with the contact address, the order that I have been telling you, that is the way you have to format. So do not overlook that. Okay, do not make too much of informations which are your personal traits. Never go on those basic, because personal traits no one would be interested. Again I repeat, so do not mention all that. This the you know the Why did I tell you that resume is something that introduces you to the employer before he or she meets you in person. वो आपसे फिजिकली मिलने से पहले पहले आपके resume के थ्रू आपको जानते हैं. So your resume should be apt, like it should be totally to the point, कि जहाँ पे एक के बाद एक के बाद एक के बाद उन्हें ज्यादा खोज ढूंढने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी कि कहाँ पे क्या है, etc. And before you end your resume, you have to mention the objective in the sense कि आप क्यों करना चाहते हो काम. So you can also say, for example, with the qualification and the experiences, it would be a pleasure for me to join your company for its growth and enhancement. मैं आपके कंपनी को मेरे एक्सपीरियंस और मेरे क्वालिफिकेशन के साथ इसलिए ज्वाइन करना चाहता हूं ताकि आपकी कंपनी को बढ़ाई और डेवलपमेंट, ग्रोथ या एनहांसमेंट मिले. और बिफोर यू एंड यू हैव टू राइट थैंक्स with your name and signature. With your name and signature. So this is how you end your resume. Again, I repeat, starting should be with your name, then your contact address. Contact address will be differing for different people. If you have a permanent address, go with only permanent address. But if you have two address, कहीं और रहते हो और कहीं और हो काम के लिए, then that is your contact address. Then telephone number, if you have your residential number, then comes your mobile number, then comes your active email number. I mean active email ID. Then comes your permanent address if you are from somewhere else. Again, I repeat. Then comes your date of birth. Date of birth will be the date, the month, and the year. This should be the order, not the year first and the rest, but first will be the date, then the month, and never write it in number like 23-1 1922, nothing like that. Just write 23rd January, the year of birth. So don't add that slash thing. Okay, if you have to add, you can add, but first you have to write it in order. 23rd January 1962, bracket, you can write 23-1 1962, but never write just a number. Okay. Then you can also go for your language proficiency, the languages that you're well versed, that you can speak, right? Yes. Questions? Yes. Neelam, any questions do you have? Sunny? Again, I repeat, in your resume, you can avoid writing about your strength and weakness, but even if you have to mention, just mention the strengths. Do not go for weaknesses. Avoid the questions when asked on weaknesses. Now see this, Natasha, the question of your gap year is too long and wordy. How do I cut it down efficiently? Okay, I'll just come back to you, Sunny. Sunny, your question is, my resume is too long and wordy. How do I cut it down efficiently? I'll come back to you. Before that, let me reply to Natasha. Okay, Natasha, how to mention a gap here in the resume? Okay, now, you know what? Sometimes people avoid putting the gap here, that maybe let me see how, if the gap here is not put up or not mentioned, how does it happen? So people avoid it unnecessary. When you're going through the years, when the employer goes through your time or your or the years of your experiences, if he or she finds a gap, that question can come to you verbally, right? So I think it is better not to mention it in the resume. If you are asked verbally, then you can tell the reason behind it, because the gap year indirectly is a negative side of yours, right? So you do not have to mention it in a resume wherein you are getting introduced by the resume to the employer. So avoid giving that. So when asked personally, you can reply to the question. And Sunny, why do you think your resume is too long and wordy? I would like to know that. You have mentioned that my resume is too long and wordy. How do I cut it down efficiently? So, what all have you mentioned that it's too long and wordy? Yes, Sunny. Have you mentioned too much of your work experiences, or you have given a detail of everything that you have been working in each and every company? Okay, but just to, before you reply, Sunny, I would like to tell you that, to cut it down is just to, okay. You mentioned too much of your work efficiency. Okay, Sunny, you don't have to do that. Like I told you, whenever you are mentioning your experiences about your job, do not mention a lot of it. For example, the first company. As a first company, in the first company, you must have worked like, like a Java developer, for example. And in that case, you just have to write that in from 2001 to 2003, for example, I in the company ABCD company as a Java developer. That's it. You do not have to mention anything else. Do not give too much of information. Give to that how much you can. Something about writing a good cover letter. The cover letter should, Manilam, can you please tell something about writing a cover letter? The cover letter should mention your designation as well, the work that you are working for, the job you are looking out for, along with your name. Okay, do not see, the thing is, when you're writing your resume or your cover letter, it should only mention the limited amount. More of information is not required. When the resume is opened, that time the information can be given to that extent that an employer reads it within the few limitation of time that he or she has, because he or she will not have so much of time to read the entire list of things that you're showing up in your resume. So better make it a point that you make it short and informative, not too much of knowledge, not too much of information. Your professional qualification, or rather, whenever you, the degrees that you have achieved, you have to just mention that in which year and from which college or from which university. That's it. And the experiences, again, I tell, it has to be only with the year, the name of the company, and your designation. And in the skills and your abilities, it will have only the technical thing or the knowledge that you have. In the strength and weaknesses, weakness is something that you have to avoid telling, and do not mention your hobbies, etc., in your resume. And also, for example, if you're writing, again I repeat, if you're writing about something about your strength, mention only those points which are your strengths, which has helped you to for a particular job or something that is related technically. Yes, any other questions? Okay, now see, there's a question which comes up as like, do I have to make a resume for each and every other different company that I'm applying for? It depends. Now, for example, if you are a qualified software engineer, And if you're applying to a software company, the resume remains the same. But now, for example, you have two degrees. One is like a software engineer and the other maybe a web designer. So you have to apply accordingly from with the resume. Where if you're applying for a web designer's post, you have to mention only the qualifications which are related to your web designing, or the skills and your abilities, not for the ones which is against your the ones which is not informing the employer about your degree. So you have to mention, but if it's a common thing, then your resume can remain the same. Okay. If I would like to say, if your session is going, if the session is going well, and if you all are finding some kind of information, please, enroll and log into www.letstudent.com. This is our website wherein you can get a lot of information, and also we provide free courses where for English grammar, for your business English, as well as for your spoken English. So please be free to enroll and subscribe. Thank you very much. Yes, some other questions. Yes, after this, you will have your IELTS sessions also. Yes. Any more questions? Sunny, I hope I have cleared your doubts. Sunny, Neelam, Natasha. Like into a profile of digital marketing, then I should only mention the course details and skill. Yes, of course, yes. Neelam, yes, the answer is absolutely yes. If you are applying into a profile of a digital marketing, you should only mention the course details that you have done. In your additional thing, you may mention that, but it is not necessary. In your additional, you can say that you have achieved, you've got this degree also, but your major, the qualification degree will only, or the qualifications that you are applying for digital marketing should be based only on your degree based on digital marketing. In addition point, you can mention the other point, the other qualifications that you have, but majorly the qualification that is required for a digital marketing core, whatever applications or whatever you have learned, those are your skills related to your digital marketing. Remember that. Clear, Neelam? Yes. And also you can, when you're talking about your skills and abilities, Neelam, you have to mention related to the job which you are looking out for as a digital marketer, then you have to use all the skills that you have achieved or you have got while you have done the course of digital marketing. Is it clear, Neelam? Yes. Okay. Thank you, Neelam. Yes. Any other questions? And even if you all have done some courses from some private institute like an IIT or ZAP or anything, you need to mention that also. Okay. If you have done from some other institute, private institute, you can mention the names of those institutes if you have achieved a particular degree from that particular institute also. Okay. Yes. Any other queries, questions? Sunny, are your doubts clear? Or if you have any other questions, you are free to ask. Yes. Any questions regarding resume or anything else? So mind that the resume should be not lengthy. It should have only that is required for the employer to know about you. No personal traits, no personal weakness or strength has to be mentioned. Hobbies and all are not required. Okay. For freshers, you can write about the achievements or your skills. For skills is regarding the technical thing, but for achievements, you can mention something wherein you were appreciated or you were awarded in your college, in your institute, or in your degree, wherever you got some kind of achievement, that you can put it in your achievements. Thank you. So please subscribe our channel and you'll get a lot of information about the live sessions and other things. It will be helpful for you all for your better future and your betterment. Yes, some more questions? Okay. I hope this information was good enough for you all to frame a resume. Again, do not use too much of words. Make it as good as short as possible. Writing the orders that I mentioned should be in that way itself. Not much, not less. Okay. Yes, any more questions? Okay. I think there's not much questions coming up. But if any questions, then you can put it up in the comment box and ask. We'll be free to answer you back. Um, yes, please, Neelam, what do you want to ask? Ask. Yes, Neelam, you can ask. Waiting for your question, Neelam. Yes, Neelam, waiting. Okay. Now, this is a very smart question. What is your salary expectations? For example, different people have a different way of tackling this question. Okay, if an employer asked me this question, I would be smart enough to not tell the amount that I want. The most common answer is like people say that, uh, as per the company norms or as per the market value. Okay, this way is a smart answer, or at the same time, because this is a smart answer. Why is it a smart answer? Because if you tell a certain amount, okay, and the employer or the management have thought about an amount which is lesser than your amount, so maybe that time they would have a question mark in their mind that should we employ her or employ him. Because if they have decided that for this particular job they will pay these employee 35K, and if you say 40K, so there's a loss for them for 5K. But at the same time, if you say 30K and they have decided 35K, so that will be a profit for them. So it's better never to tell the actual amount. Leave it to the company and say that as per my experience, I would like to be given the salary as per the company norms or as per the market value. But yes, of course, to the increase, to a I mean to say in an increased way than the last salary, the increment should be there. From the last salary that I withdraw, I am expecting an increment in that as per the company norms and the market value. Never tell the amount. Neelam. Okay. Is it clear, Neelam? You can leave it to the company and the employer, but never say an amount. You can be very smart enough to say that, of course, that I'm looking for an increment than my last salary as per the company norms and regulations or as per the market value. Yes, Neelam, is it clear? Yes, Neelam. Any other questions from any one of you? Okay, great, Neelam. Any more questions? Yes. Any more questions from either of you? Okay, please subscribe to our channel and ring the bell. Okay. So I hope this session was helpful to all of you, and I could help you to the best of my abilities to answer your queries. And if any more questions, you can put it down in the comment section. I would be more than happy to reply. So I think everything is clear before I, go offline. Yes, any questions? Last. Neelam, Sunny. Neelam, is everything clear to you? Okay, fine. I then better take your leave. It was a good session. Please try to follow whatever I've mentioned, and I'm sure and I wish you all the best with the resume and your job. Thank you very much. See you soon. Thank you very much. Bye. Most welcome, Neelam. Thank you. The resume should be black and white, Ashwin, not colorful. Resumes has to be in A4 size paper with black and white print. Yeah. Fine. So with this, I take your leave and see you soon for the next live session. Please subscribe, and also you can join our WhatsApp group for further notifications of the live sessions. The number is mentioned in the description box. See you all soon again with another topic in the live session. Thank you very much for your participation. Thank you very much.